I watched the Candace Owens George Floyd documentary.
Did you?
I
Okay.
did. I was curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I signed up for Daily Wire to watch it, which,
How's that?
I mean, I don't know. I just watched that one thing.
Yeah. Does
Like
it
it's an,
cost?
yeah, it was like $15.
Jeez. So here, what
Hmm.
do they have for $15?
Like, Matt Walsh's doc and like a few other docs and those movies.
Okay.
No way it's worth $15. There was some very good stuff in it, but it was poorly structured. Like for the first, I'd say 45 minutes, it was pretty much because it's on Daily Wire's website. So you're not reaching anyone who's not already on board with the agenda, right?
Yes.
So essentially, it was just sort of like for 45 minutes, it was basically like, all those things about BLM and George Floyd that you think, that's what happened. And you're just like, great. I mean, who is that? So everyone's just, yeah, we were right. Cool. Like it was just that. I was just like, this isn't helping anything. And also, you're not reaching anybody. But the most
My
interesting.
criticism of the thing. Go ahead.
The most interesting things about it, which I thought were great, which was valuable, and she should have got more into this. She kind of buries it at the end where she just talks about it, but it was all about where the BLM donations went.
Ooh, okay.
And she did some like kind of financial like what's the word when they like investigation.
Yeah. Was it
on that.
forensic finance?
That's forensic
Yeah.
accounting.
Yeah. Forensic accounting. Yeah.
First of all, one of the things that just on a pure virtue signal level, George Floyd was living with two people at the time, and they received $0, nothing.
Oh,
even
shit.
so much so, even so much so that George Floyd's car was parked out front of their house and had to be towed, but they didn't have like the money to tow it, so it just sat there
Oh, Jesus.
until Candace Owens gave them the money to do it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that was a great look. And she
Yeah.
also paid for all of George Floyd's back rent.
Wow. Because, yeah, I guess if those people living there,
They gave those people dick, nothing. All
That's
those charities,
crazy.
not a penny went to them. The
yeah.
other
I'm not
thing,
shocked, though. I'm not shocked because that's
No,
just how
I'm-
those fucking things get down.
I'm not shocked, but these were facts, and that's why I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing that they said, which was I don't know if you noticed this because I didn't pay that close attention to all this stuff, but apparently George Floyd's brother and daughter were very prominent in the press talking about how bad this was and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
According to the roommates, the people who lived with George Floyd for several years, they had never even met those people.
Really?
They never had been to the house one time.
I ain't never met a sister. I ain't never met a brother. None of them ever came here. And Floyd been living in this house. We've been in this house going on 6 years, am I right?
Yeah. But for
Never them- never.
4 years, no. He just,
They never wanted his stuff. I mean, I would think that if my
They didn't
son,
even come and look and see
daughter,
where the man lived at. They never came to see where Floyd lived. They never came and get none of his stuff.
Yeah. It was really, really fascinating. And then it goes on with the accounting of all the charity stuff. That was what was really fascinating. Beyond the By Large Manson's thing. That was
Yeah.
bad, obviously. And proven, and she proves it, in the documentary, which was good, impressive. The other thing, though, was they were all these funds were siphoned to all these other charities with like, what is this charity? Like, does this charity even exist? Like, she called all of them, only was able to get one on the phone.
Yeah.
Couldn't find events that any of them were doing. Couldn't find, and a lot of them were like trans stuff. And it was it felt a lot of like money laundering, like she was giving it. This is what was speculated in the doc. These aren't my
Alleged
words.
and speculated stuff.
Allegedly,
don't wanna be
was
free speech
money
issues.
laundering to her family members, essentially. Like her brother, I think it was Patrice Cullors. Is that her name? Patrice.
Yes, that is Patrice Cullors.
She had a brother who I guess was like a DJ or was in sound, something like that. And then she hired him as head of security and paid him like six figures.
Oof.
Patrisse Cullors came forth and also admitted that she hired both her mother and her brother to work at the property. What sort of work, you ask? Well, Patrisse Cullors' brother, Paul Cullors, is a graffiti artist by trade. That's what he's done his entire life. He's done graffiti. Patrisse instead hired her brother to do security for her. She paid Paul $840,000. That's almost $1 million in just 1 year to her graffiti artist brother, his newly established security firm.
An insane amount of money. And there was so much shady accounting and shady, like, where the money went. And I think she should have focused on that more than anything. And she just buries it at the end, which I was like, that is the story.
Should be the whole fucking documentary about the fact that the sub BLMs, like they would have BLM Philly, BLM whatever, sued the main BLM. I can't remember all the names, but they sued them because they weren't actually getting any money because, you know, Patrisse Cullors' brother had to get $900,000 in security, so they couldn't actually do anything for any of the local chapters. Did that get brought out at all?
I don't know if specifically that, but she definitely was making a really good point that how in any way was the black community helped?
They weren't.
It was really it was very clear, at least to with the information that I was presented, that most of this money did not make a positive impact on the community. And I don't know if this is still to this day the case, but in the documentary they show like George Floyd Square, like where he was killed in Minneapolis. Apparently that's still like an autonomous zone like the CHOP was.
Really?
Yeah, apparently according to this documentary and from what I was watching, yes.
It means this is an autonomous zone and it operates outside the laws of United States. And anything that happens here is run by a community and they do whatever they want.
There was a lot of interesting stuff in the documentary. I just don't think Candace did a terrific job making it. Like, I think if someone with more of an experienced hand was there, they could have done better. Because also, like, she was framing questions that were basically like the only reason to ask that questions is for her conclusions to be agreed with. Like, do you think that's fair? Or does that sound like America to you? Or something like that. And you're like, why are you even asking that question? Like, it was just like just leading people by the hand to agree with you.
See, this is what, man, if this is why I'm so fucking critical of so much of the conservative space. I want you guys to do better. I don't want, if conservatism is the method that we have to be protected from the craziness that is being pushed around the world, you're not going to get any of the massive middle of
100%.
consumers who really don't know what's going on. There's still a lot of people, if you say woke, they're not going to know what the fuck you mean. And that may shock you, but they exist. I know you know they exist.
But that's why I don't understand why this is beyond a paywall on the Daily Wire. It's like, it's just going to go there to die.
That's why I'm so critical.
Not going to impact shit.
Like, that's why I'm so critical of the hearts and minds arguments. You guys don't care about hearts and minds because if you did, you would do things differently.
Or
like
you got to do something like it's behind the paywall for early access and then it's on YouTube for a month or you know what I mean? Like, you got to figure out promotion. Like, Andrew Schultz figured it out. You know what I mean? Like, granted, it's a comedy special. There's more of a broad demand for it, but then he made it public. So if you want to reach people with this information, you have to put it somewhere where they're going to find it. Like, you have to understand people are skeptical of you.
Yes.
Like,
and rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you're always leading them and making conclusions on their behalf. They can have CNN do that.
And you can't preach people are fucking in a woke mind virus that's a cult and then ask them basically to just convert to your cult.
Yes.
And then stand on that as a principle.
It's almost like church. It's like, stop trying to be someone else's God. Stop trying to say, hey, don't worship the woke people, worship us instead. That's not going to work. Come up with just present information.
That's exactly it. That's what I
information in a non-biased way. The story will tell itself.
That's where Candace Owens as a person loses me. That's where the Daily Wire as a company loses me. It's like they have this arrogance, like
We're right.
we have
'cause
all
we're
the
Republicans.
answers. We have all the answers. It's
All
just
of
like obnoxious. It's like, first of all, you don't, and secondly, that's not helping anything. We're just creating another cult.
Yes.
It's just now there's two. One's red and one's blue. It's a waste of anyone's time, and also it's
Too
not
harsh.
productive. Like, there's good information in that documentary that people should see, but you can't frame it in a way like, don't we all agree on this? Because it's like, no, we don't, and we need to help people understand the nuance, and like they can take parts of it and they don't have to agree with every single thing you think. But if you bury a documentary like this behind the Daily Wire paywall, the only people who are going to see it are people who already agree with you or are going there for ammunition to vilify you. That's it.